Welcome back to CyberVibeCheck. My name is Quentin, and today I'm going to be showing you how to scan web vulnerabilities using the OWASP ZAP program. This is going to be Lab 8 in our video series here, getting close to the end. Thank you so much for all those who have been keeping up, going through the videos, asking questions, putting answers, responses, helping others in the comments section. It's been a really great feat so far. So to go ahead and get into this project, first I'm going to talk about who is OWASP. That is a open worldwide application security project. This is a global nonprofit foundation dedicated to improving the security of software. It was founded in 2001, 1 year before I was born, and it provides a vast resource of open source tools and documentation tools to help developers and organizations build and maintain secure applications, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get into what is the OWASP Top 10, which is going to be a regularly updated awareness document outlining the top 10 most critical web application security risks. So here in this chart, you can see the comparison between the top 10 in 2021 versus 2025, and some new things that have been added, things that have been taken away, like broken access controls, SQL injections, insecure design. I was actually at a conference a few weeks ago, and somebody who was a security engineer was saying how the biggest issue a lot of companies are facing right now is that there are already malware implanted within design systems and application systems before it even leaves the full software development lifecycle. And that right there is what's creating potholes that already exist before anything has been within use within an organization. And so that's kind of the biggest thing right now as you kind of look over the list. These are things that companies are trying to mitigate and solve for right now, headed into the future. ZAP, OWASP ZAP, or Z-Attack Proxy, is going to be an open source free tool. It's going to be used for finding security vulnerabilities within web applications, and it almost acts like a man-in-the-middle proxy between a tester's browser and the server, which will allow for both automated scanning and manual penetration testing. So we're going to go ahead and begin our install of the program. We're going to go to ZAP. Let's see, it should be zaproxy.org. Yeah. Z-Attack Proxy. Here we go. This is going to be the main website that you're looking for. And then we're just going to download that onto our system. I also want to add in, well, not add in, but continue. I also want to say, you're going to see this pop up if you're using Mac. I could not get the Apple Silicon one to work, so I used the cross-platform package. I found that to be able to be downloaded and installed into my computer. But also, I want to preface, you're going to see me do this here in a moment. You have to go into your privacy and security settings inside of your system settings, and you have to allow your system to open that package and install it, because it views it almost as, well, not almost, it views it as malware downloaded from the internet. And so it's super important that you go in and allow it within your settings, and then you will be able to use ZAP software on your computer. Okay, so once you were able to configure that setting, make sure that it's allowed on your computer. Now we could go back into our ZAP. There we go, it's finishing loading up there. Just click yes, use the same timestamp. And here you're just going to manage your add-ons. It's just saying the ones that are installed. I hit update all just to make sure everything was up to date as far as my resources. Give that just a couple moments. Okay, and now that everything is updated, we're going to go ahead and scan our test website. This is a publicly available website used for pen testing very commonly, so it is safe to use, but please be mindful. Entering in different websites, companies, organizations, it is illegal to do penetration testing against them. So just be mindful of the sites that you are testing against, right? So we're going to go ahead and type testphp.vulnweb.com. And I want to say this is owned by Acunetics. I believe I pronounced that correctly. And they explicitly allow this scanning. And then you're going to go in and hit attack. Okay, and the URL is down, which is really unfortunate. And I'm staring at my screen for a moment. With too many people testing against it, it's very common that it could go down. So we're just going to find a new website that we could test practice on, and hopefully it's going to carry a good vibe for us, right? There's another website. I'm going to find it here in a moment. It is going to be zero.webappsecurity.com, and those are legal allowed targets that we can use to scan in the same way. So immediately we're already getting feedback. It's testing against the URL, attacking it, and we're just going to wait for these results to load. And once that is complete, we now have an available file that we can click on to generate a report. But before I do that really fast, I'm just going to show you already some of the alerts that we have received. And you can click on those arrows to get a drop down menu, and each of them will tell you the medium risk that you've seen before when we did our risk assessment, the CWEID, the source that it came from, the header not being set correctly, a description of what could happen if this were to be exploited in that way, and the solution in order to fix that issue, right? And you could click on each of these and you could see they're all going to have something that's a bit different, right? Hidden file found, sensitive file was identified as accessible or available. This may leak administrative configuration or credential information, which could be leveraged by a malicious individual, different things like that. And then of course the solution down at the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and generate that report. You're going to go to report, generate report, and then you'll just click generate report down at the bottom. You could change some of these information, the directory, things like that, but you really don't need to. And then this file will open. So it says ZAP by checks marks, the table of contents, about the report, the risk levels, the confidence levels in which this could happen, a full summary of all the different risks, our risk matrix that we made in our previous lab. You see that here. Instead of likelihood likelihood by impact, it's risk by confidence, which it's just different names for the same concept, and where that lies on that matrix, right? And so the alerts count by site and risk, different types, cross-domain configuration, misconfigurations, hidden files, all the different things, right? I found 10 of them in total. Different alerts that it's going to tell you about. The same thing that we saw when we click that drop down arrow, you're going to see those here. Risk low, confidence medium, informational medium. It's just a full breakdown of all of the security risk within the site, right? That using this penetration tool, this pen testing tool, we can pick up. It did the pen testing for us and then gave us a report about what needs to be corrected from there. And if this is your first hack, congratulations. Give yourself a round of applause. You've done it. We've made it through. And now we are on the other side of what can we do with this information, and how can we use these different tools in order to kind of be a bug bounty for different programs and softwares that you can find these vulnerabilities in, and prevent any exploitation, any risk happening to the company. So congratulations, you have now done it. If you were putting this on your resume, you could easily say you have conducted and authorized a web application vulnerability assessment using OWASP ZAP against a deliberately vulnerable target environment, identifying SQL injection, XSS vulnerabilities, and producing a structured remediation report. And that's going to be all for Lab 8. We're going to go ahead and move into Lab 9. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe.